That's what we're talking about today, primarily. Reaching out to people daily is how you make your business go, and then neglect, right? We talked about neglect, right? Our community does not neglect health, right? You already get that. And through the 3 circles, we get how important relationships are. We get how important it is to show up well in our areas of responsibility, but sometimes you can forget your own dreams. You can neglect your own dreams, and that is something you never want to do. You never want to neglect your own dreams. And so just reaching out to people daily, make sure you're putting like a one step forward. And let me say this, I understand, right, that your dreams, your goals, your heart pursuits are yours, uniquely yours, and they should be, right? Not everybody wants to be, a 3-star diamond. Right? I don't care. I want you to do what's best for you in your life. I want you to live the life that you want to live. The beauty of our business is it can be the end, or it can be the means to the end, right? So if you build this, when you build this, it then gives you the opportunity. Maybe this is your primary vehicle forever of helping and serving people, or maybe this is a vehicle that then pays your bills, allows you to serve people, and helps you launch the other thing that you want to do. Whatever. Whatever. Life is short. It's uncertain. Today, I'm going to a memorial for a very dear friend who passed away last week. Yesterday, I had another friend whose daughter died, right? Life is short, my friends. Go for your dreams. Never neglect your dreams. Never. And recognize the best thing you could put in the people that you love is that, right? Is that mindset that don't neglect your dreams. Well, you can't put it in them if you don't do it, right? Then you're just a clanging gong, right? You're just someone who talks, right? Then you lose credibility. The people you care about, your children, the people that you love, man, they need to see you going after your dreams, because then that opens their life up. Think about that. All right, off the soapbox. So eat, share, support. Our program is very simple. Eat, use the products, right? The more products you use, the more you fall in love. That's just, I started with one product, basically. I started with Proanthanols. At that time, that's all I could afford. I was bankrupt at that time. But now the amount of products I use is mind-boggling, right? I probably use, I don't use 40 IP, but I use 40 IP in a few days, probably. I mean, it's just, these are incredible products. And then promote. Now we're going to primarily, right? The key is I put DBB, Daily Bio Basics, or Ketonic, or Income, right? Those are 3 giant doors, right? Doors that everybody needs or wants what's in one of those doors. And you can lead with any one of them, and they will lead to everything else. Ketonic is a very smart thing to lead with right now, because it does things that everybody wants, right? People want energy. They want focus. They want to suppress appetite a little. They want clear thinking, right? It's got so many health benefits, and people notice it, right? Especially the first few minutes where they get a little bit of, oh yeah, that's a good thing. That's part of service, by the way. But Daily Bio Basics the same way, right? It's a product everybody needs, and we're real aware of it right now. Tremendous time to work with Daily Bio Basics, because people are realizing, hey, I can't be immune compromised. Got to take care of nutrition. Right? And then obviously Income, same thing. Explosion is going on in the home business world. Explosion, right? If we don't share what we have with people, they're going to get into the wrong crap. Just saying. All right, serve, right? That's what we do. So we help people and support people, right? So we share and support. That's what the serve comes in, right? You can't make someone change, but you can link arms with them, right? And that's the beauty of what we do, is we help them. And then the bonus pool. Everybody can get in the bonus pool. The bonus pool is, those of you who are brand new have the best opportunity, because if you get 3 people on the products this month, 3 active orders in your first month, you get in the bonus pool. Last month, the shares were $48. That means that if you sponsored 3 people, you got 3 times 48 in addition to your paycheck, right? The month before, they were 39. They changed from month to month. I only know that because I was in the bonus pool the last 2 months. But everybody can get in this, especially right now, especially with the introduction of Ketonic. It is so easy to get people to try that product. And I say so easy, that doesn't mean everybody does. It's just really easy to talk about. And so it's a wonderful way for someone to get started. Talk to your sponsor about that, or you can ask me questions later if we need to. So promote promote flow. All right. The promote flow with what is that? Okay. First, it starts with a reach out, which we're going to come back and talk about how to do that. But that's simply reaching out to make a connection, then sending information, then following up, and then enrolling someone. That's it. This is not complicated. Right? Matter of fact, most things aren't complicated. It's the human brain that's complicated. Remember, no one you talk to ever gives you money. Right? If someone can't say, you're just trying to make money off of me, they don't give you money. And people buy the product at your cost, the same price you pay, and they don't have to pay a sign-up fee, even though most people wouldn't care if they did. And they can return it if they don't like it. The company rewards you, right? A little bit of the revenue stream that you help to generate. That's how you get paid. No one ever gives you money. This was the one thing that made talking to people so easy for me, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But not only do they not give you money, they get your support. I mean, it's incredible what people get, right? Matter of fact, they get so much from us, it's probably pretty easy to take it for granted. And they get our community support. Our community is phenomenal. I mean, best people I know, and I know a lot of people, right? So they get, not only do they not give you money, they get you in the equation, right? If they're willing to help themselves, you help them. I mean, seriously. That's why you never beg somebody to do anything, right? I mean, you're doing them a favor. You're doing them a favor when you open the door. So I want to take a break really quick from this. And before we jump into the actual kind of content of, what things that you can say, right? I just want to give you a little bit of clarity on this issue, right? Because we're talking about making contacts and approaching, which is the front end of the business. It is the process. It's make a contact, share information on your story, follow up and nurture and provide information and sponsor. That's the business. It's not hard. But I got to tell you, I've now been in home business for 31 years, right? Think about that, 31 years. When I first started, right, I had no credibility. I came from nothing. I don't come from, we were lower class economically. So I grew up with no money. I was a steep introvert. I had very poor self-esteem, something I still struggle with all the time. And I still struggle with anxiety all the time. Most of you never see that, and probably don't even believe it because you don't see it. Because I don't let it stop me. I don't let it stop me from living a life and making a difference. Matter of fact, I try to use it as a positive now, not when I first started, right? So I didn't have any credibility. I absolutely am a non-confrontational person. I'm not a sales personality at all. And here I was trying to do a home business in 1989 when people were like, what are you, out of your mind? Not to mention at that time, right? All you could use was a phone and meeting someone in person. That was it. And mailing things. So I spent thousands of dollars that I didn't have on videotapes to mail, on advertising. You had time restrictions. You can only really reach people a few hours a day or evening. I had horrible rejection, and I had to step into it. There was nothing else. So I had to endure people saying, you're an idiot, or are you kidding me? You're going to try to do what? What are you, out of your mind? That's not even legal. I mean, everything you could possibly think about hearing from people that you care about, I heard. But you know what? I wanted freedom, and I wanted to change way more than I wanted their approval. And so that's the only thing I can think of, is I was willing to do what was unbelievably hard at that time. But that laid the foundation for what ultimately has led to millions of dollars in income and a lifestyle that is pretty cool, right? And it took time. I'm not a fast study. I'm not an overnight guy. Never have been. I don't learn very quickly. I'm not any smarter than the average person. Some people think I am because I'm so daggone well read, because I've read thousands of books, because I've worked on myself to make the best of what I have. So the point I'm making is, it is so much easier for people to do this business now. So much easier. There's no investment in tools. They're all free. They're online. You can reach people 24/7 through the internet, through Messenger, through text, through all these different mediums. You don't have to deal with brutal rejection right in your face like we did years ago. right? It's so, I mean, in 20 minutes, 3 days ago, I did 16 reach outs in 20 minutes. I've sponsored 3 people from that. It took me 20 minutes, right? Now, I had people that didn't return my call, didn't respond to my message. I had several people just ghosted me, acted like I never did it. I had people that then said, "Oh yeah," and never took action, just like everybody else. Right? So the point is, it's so easy to actually do the work now. Right? It's not easier to be successful. I'm not saying that, right? Success is a long-term thing, right? And has to do with you're willing to grow as a human being and you're willing to stand up for what you believe in, right? That kind of stuff. But man, doing the work, so daggone easy. Anybody can do it, right? So that's why I'm so excited for you, right? For those of you who will take the action. And again, doesn't mean it's going to be easy because your circumstances are different. Your situation is different, but all of it is doable. All right. So there, I wanted to say that without being a little tiny square. Okay. So perspective. Before we get to specific things, you cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. This is why it doesn't make any sense for you to like go crazy trying to figure out the right way to talk to somebody. Because if they're not open, it doesn't matter what you say. Matter of fact, if they're not open, you don't want to be in a conversation. I mean, it's just the truth, right? The other thing is they're not living your life. You know, when I said to you, I did a video on this earlier this week. And when I said to you earlier about my start, I mean, it was awful. It was awful. By the time I got to Life Plus, it was different. Although I still had people saying, well, the first thing you said you were going to do. No, hey, you know what? Stuff happens. I stayed at it. I learned. And now I'm here because I found this incredible, wonderful thing. And you either want to learn about it or you don't. It's okay if you don't. People aren't living your life. So all those people that told me I was crazy or that it would never work or that I was an idiot or I was foolish or I was a dreamer or I was throwing away my education or that I was the Avon boy or that, I mean, I can give you a list that goes on and on. They're not living my life. They didn't live my life. And nobody's going to live your life. So the people that you might worry about what they think, that's pointless. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to put your kids through college. They're not going to pay for your retirement. They're not going to be there if you're sick. They're not going to pay your mortgage. They're not going to experience your regret. They're not going to experience your frustration. They're not going to, right? They're not going to have anything to do with your family's life or your life. So do not let any consideration of what they might think, even though most of that time is not going to be the case, right? Because we live in an age where you have to be living under some sort of giant rock to not realize you need to take good products and you need to have some other alternative income source if you don't have all the money you need. Seriously. And everybody knows home business is a real thing now, right? So you don't have that kind of stuff. But you're still going to run into negative Nellies, right? You're going to. That's part of the world. You can't just pick the people that are going to be positively responsively to you because you don't know who they're going to be anyway, right? You can't know. And so just remember, nobody else is living your life. You're living your life. So are you going to let them have input? Or are you going to let them dictate what you do because you want to impress them? Come on. Come on. Don't worry about you. It doesn't matter what people think. They're not thinking about you anyway. They're thinking about themselves. Most people are ridiculously self-focused, right? That's just the truth. And so, you know, it's pointless. Nobody's living your life but you. So live it. Live it the way you want to live it. Be a role model. Be an example. Stand tall. Stand strong. Stand in your truth. A percentage of people are going to join. That's just the bottom line. You don't control who that is. You just know the numbers. I always talk about 2 and 10 because those are the numbers when you treat people well, when there's any measure of connection. That's not true in the cold market, which we're not talking about here. Then those numbers can be all over the place. But the bottom line is a percentage is going to join in your contact base. If you follow the list building exercise I have in the Million Lives Team YouTube channel that Scott Brookins set up for us, right? You follow that activity. If you really look at that, if you truly do it the right way, it's just a numbers game, right? I mean, that's all business is. Every business is just mathematics with heart. That's all, well, mathematics. Our business is mathematics with heart. All business is mathematics. It's not about talent. It's not about skill. right? You can learn what you need. None of these skills are very difficult. It's just math. If you play the math over time, you do it right, you treat people right, you'll be as successful as you want, especially now. So percentage is going to join. You just can't control who is in that percentage. You can only control making the contact. Each contact is a victory. And the reason I put this out here is most people don't think about this. Nobody knows you're in business. Nobody knows you have products that could change your life. Nobody knows you have an opportunity that's fair and honest, where they have no investment. They can build an income stream as big as they want, that could provide whatever they want in their life truly over time in any way to help. They don't know that you have this unless you let them know, right? And you can't let them know by doing a post on Facebook. You have to reach out and talk to people in a very simple way and open a door. So each contact is actually a victory because it creates awareness. And then through continuing to, now this is deeper and farther out training, but through continuing to work the process like I do, right? Where I work over and over and over and over and over and over in my circle of influence, because your circle of influence never gets smaller when you treat people well. Then they're always receptive. Whether or not they'll do something, that's up to them. It's their choice. So don't edit your list unless if someone's just mean, forget them. I mean, maybe you're the kind of person like, but I can't do that because, they still deserve a chance. Okay, I respect that. But that's how I edit my list. If you're not nice and you're not honest, I ain't talking to you. Ever. But other than that, I have no idea what your situation is. Most people only let you see their image. You have no idea what's going on in their life. Listen, the person down the road you think is rich is so leveraged to the hilt that they're worse than paycheck to paycheck, right? But they look rich. They're not rich. They're just leveraged. They're just in debt, right? You can't edit based on anything, right? Because you don't know. Most of what you see on people's lives has nothing to do with their actual life. So you don't know. Just be nice and respectful and recognize if you really get this, if you really believe in what this can do to help people, you have a responsibility to share it. What they do with it is their choice, and you should respect that. If you don't believe that this can make a difference for people, then don't do it. It's pretty simple, right? Okay, so let's talk about the reach outs. All right, I'm going to give you several simple reach outs today. All right. I know the slide's crowded. I'm no slide genie, all right, or guru. So, voice message / text. Did you get my voice text demographic? And we'll talk specifically about this one for a second, all right? So I'm going to work from right to left on the slide. Demographic. Let's just be real. Different demographics communicate in different ways. Trying to get a millennial on a phone conversation, I think that's like trying to grab an eel out of the water with your bare hands. Basically impossible, right? Basically impossible. So to try to communicate with them by calling them, A, they're never going to answer the phone and they're never going to listen to the voice message. They're just not. You got to communicate with them by message. It can be a voice message or a text message, but it's got to be by message. Baby boomers are different. A large amount of the baby boomers prefer to talk by phone, but still don't answer the phone. So you can use message or text to get to a phone call. It's not about what you prefer. It's about the other person, right? So my method in today's world, where it used to be I had to make a phone call, and that's the only weapon, is I use a voice message text. That is what I do, whether it's by Messenger or WhatsApp or text, I use a voice text. And the reason I do that is because there's no way I can write that. There's no possible way for me to write just text in, print and have that express me, right? I can't have it share my inflections. I can't have it share my personality, right? I can't do that. It's not me. It's just written words. You can do that, and that's fine. And so I believe, and I've proven this by my working and the people that are doing it, the best thing you can do is drop a voice message as a voice text, whether it's text or Messenger or WhatsApp. Drop a message using your invitation, right? And then if you get no response, because there are few people, less now than there used to be, but there's still a few people that don't even know that's a thing. They don't even know you. They see that like, what the heck is that? There's a little ribbon on my phone. What does that mean? They don't know it's a message. And so you could then, if you don't get a response back and it's someone that you think you should have, right, you could then just send a simple text. Did you get my voice text? That's it. That's very simple. Anyone can do that. You can wake up in the morning and drop voice message text all the time. I was out fishing 2 days ago and somebody popped in my head and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a message. I probably can't. Well, I just picked up my phone and dropped the message. I mean, it's so easy. You could go to the store and drop a message to 5 people on the way to the store. I mean, this is so ridiculously easy to reach out. And it's the first thing you should do in the day. So essentially, in your message, it's just about benefits or an invitation to learn. That's all. So you can, these are just different things that you can say. Bottom line is, decide what you want to say and say it over and over and over, but just say it nice. It's about how you say it so much more than what you say. Have you heard about Ketonic? Hey man, did you hear about Ketonic? Did I tell you about Ketonic? Did I tell you about Biobasics? Did I tell you about this product I was using that's making me feel like Superman? Did I tell you? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you know how easy that is? I mean, and someone's going to go, no, what are you talking about? Boom, you're in a conversation. I mean, it's just so easy, right? Or you could say, hey, is energy an area of interest for you? Is health an area of interest for you? Is making extra money an area of interest for you? Is it? Don't complicate this. There's no magic words. There's millions of things that you could say. I'm just giving you all the stuff that I've said over the years. As a matter of fact, I didn't give you all the stuff because there's so many things I've said that I can't count them all, but they're in various places, which I'll share in a moment. And there's other sources that you can use that can teach you language, but it doesn't matter as long as you just pour your heart into it and just do it and do it and do it and do it. You know, I'm working with this one I got from John Melton the other day. I'm working with some great people and they're helping me to lose weight, have more energy, make some extra money, to be healthier, build my immune system, right? Eliminate my allergies, feel better, feel smarter, whatever. Right? It's just so simple. And this is attractive, right? It's about curiosity, right? That's all this is. It's about curiosity in an area of need, right? Because there's huge need. There's massive need for what our products do. And again, those 2 products, Biobasics, Ketonic, you could build an empire on those 2 products together. Not to mention they're a great combination to mix. But really simple because everybody recognizes those are areas of shortfall, right? And so this is just a little bit of what I've been saying to some people about Ketonic. I'm working with an awesome product, I've been saying, hey, we just released a product that wipes out hunger and makes you feel energized, focused, and positive mood. You want to check it out? I mean, most people are like, yeah, I'd be interested in learning about that, right? I put DBB just changed. Hey, I said it, a company released, but now I would say, hey, working with a product that gives you fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals, fiber, probiotics, antioxidants, and special greens. Is that something you'd like to learn about? It makes things so simple. Yeah, I'd like to know about that. Or no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they say. It only matters that you do it, right? That you say it. I found an awesome product that. Such an easy way to open it. How are you doing? I want to talk about this one just for a quick second because this is very relevant for today's times. If you're not doing this in general to people you know, you should, right? How are you doing? But because lots of people need somebody to care about them. And so it's used improperly with cold contacts in the network marketing arena. I don't like it like that, right? So in other words, someone will reach out to me that I don't know and say, hey, Todd, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, that's a prospecting message. And I don't really know you. So fine, thanks. And that's it. But in your warm circle right now, it would be a good thing to do is say, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? And then the conversation can unfold if you want it to. Very, very simple. Hi, I remember you saying, right? Another big, and I mean, people close to your warm market, again, you look at Ketonic. People talk about being tired. talk about struggling with their weight, talk about trying to manage their hunger, they talk about that kind of stuff, right? You can bring that in and say, hey, maybe you talked about blah, blah, blah. Hey, last time we spoke, you mentioned, hey, I saw that you mentioned you were trying to. This can happen with someone you know where they post something on their Facebook profile. You know, they say, hey, I'm trying to da-da-da, or I'm struggling with da-da-da, or I'm doing da-da-da. And then you can reach out and go, hey, I saw it. You said that. Have you found something? I got something that might help you. It's really simple. This one next is a little bit more complex, right? But it's more of a structure. You don't have to use this. It doesn't have to be this mechanical, but in a voice message, it wouldn't be. I mean, I consider you a really smart person, or I consider you a sharp person, or I consider you, an inspired person, or a motivated person, or a successful person, or whatever. The reason I'm reaching out to you is I'm expanding in my business, and it might not be a fit for you. And that's okay if it's not, but you're exactly the kind of person I'd like to work with. I've always used that particular phrase because I'm looking for nice and honest people, and I don't even talk to them if I don't think they're like that. And then when they say, well, what does that mean? I say, well, you're nice and honest. You're a nice person. I perceive you to be honest, and that's the kind of people I like to work with. Would you be open to a side project to make extra money if it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing? That's a little bit more complex. I didn't put many of these in here because truthfully, most of you don't need this. Right now, what you need to do is everything I've said already. You can do whatever you need to here because there's so many people you can bring to the table through the product. But for those of you who want a business opportunity at first, right, then I'm giving you a couple things, and then I'll give you places to go get more, right? I started a business, or I'm building a business. I've always thought as you as this kind of person. I give you this language because it really works, because it's true, right? You can say of the kind of person you thought of them. I'm reaching out because I'm expanding. You're definitely the kind of person I like to work with. Might not be up your alley, and that's okay if it's not, but you might know the right person. So you could even use that to leverage it into, would you be willing to learn about it that way? If there's someone that might, that you think would be a good fit, you could refer me to them. That happened. I mean, actually I sponsored someone yesterday from that approach. So I listed here the process book. In the back of the process book, which everybody should have that book, and everybody who ever has any inclination of building the business should get that book. There are tons of things in the back of that book, and they're all the things that I've used and the people I've mentored and coached over the years have used to build their business, because they're very simple lines. Now, there are other authors like Ray Higdon, Eric Worre. There's so many different authors who produce books that have different, I hate the word scripts, but we'll call them scripts, right? But let's be real. A script never built anybody's business. You build the business, right? Opening your mouth builds a business. As long as you're being nice, you practically can't go wrong, right? I mean, truthfully. Now, if you want to get way deeper in crafting stuff, the Blueprint Process digital training has a lot of deep stuff in it. I don't think you need that, right? I think it's smart to have and continuously train yourself and listen to that over and over, but you don't need it to do what I've already given you. And right now, everybody could talk to at least 50 to 100 people just about Ketonic alone and end up adding 15 or 20 users. That's a real number. That's not an airy-fairy number. And then in my Facebook for Network Marketing, I give you all layers. In other words, that has a lot of very deep scripting in it for when you are going into layers. And this is for someone who's really seriously trying to build a big business and wants to continuously prospect in a major way, right? And so you're going to then be in a situation where you're constantly creating avenues or talking to people you don't really know well. All that language is in there. And it all works, right? You have to remember, in my career, I've done everything. I've done everything from cold calls to walking in and this is me. This is me, someone who, it just terrorized me, but I did it anyway. But the fruit is worth it, right? So, and not to mention, you get to the point where it's easy. You're like, who cares? Who cares what that person says, right? I'm going to help them. If they don't want to be helped, okay, right? So lots of stuff in there. And then, of course, the Million Lives Team YouTube channel. has all, you know, lots of the training videos, and you can revisit some of those as well. And then just some other, are you still, right? This is a really good one, especially in your, those of you who've been working at it for a while. Are you still, you can use an any not yet. And I'll tell you what, are you still is going to end up being true. Are you still looking for a way to blah, blah, blah? Because most people have not solved their problem. Why? Because that's the majority. The majority of the people don't really do it. They don't take care of themselves. They don't get proactive. They're so stuck in conformity thinking. But good news is that's getting blown up right now because people are recognizing that didn't work. I found, is always my favorite, I got to tell you about was my absolute number one, right? And I still do that now. I got to tell you about this new product. I got to tell you about this new product. I probably said that, I don't know, I probably said that 100 times in the last month. And as a result, have like 40 people who are using the product from saying it, right? I discovered is another good thing, but always add, it might not be for you and it's okay if it's not, right? I mean, it's just such a good thing to say, but are you open to checking it out? Are you open to learn about it? All good. Your area, the one thing I wanted to touch on here, your area is really good from an opportunity perspective when you're, you know, looking to recruit and expand the business. If you're having a, you can do this with a satisfied customer. You can do it with a business, with anybody. So you could actually tie the product into this, right? So I could go, hey, Jason, I'm reaching out to you because I'm expanding my business and I'm looking for someone in your area. Can we chat for a minute, right? Or, you know, yeah, or could we chat for a minute? Or I'd like to see if maybe you could help me out, right? Something like that, right? And Jason says, yeah, what are you talking about? I say, so we're just introduced this awesome new product into the marketplace. It does this, this, and this. So I just got to tell them about the product. And I'm looking for someone in your area to be my point person. There's no risk. There's no investment. And, you know, I respect you. So, you know, you would know the kind of person that would be good. It'd be great if it's you, but I don't imagine it is. But would you be willing to learn about it? And then if someone comes to mind, you could point them to me. You could do that all day long, right? Because it's totally indirect. So, you know, it's just doing it. I'm just giving you ideas, right? And so then the info, keep it simple, all right? So the ketonic videos, I've been using two. I've been using the one that Isa made for us, which is fabulous. People love it. And then I made a little short one that I stopped using. And then I found other people were using it as part of what they sent, 2 videos, and it was helping them sponsor. I'm like, well, okay, I'll use my own too. So I threw mine back in the mix, and sure enough, you know, so it doesn't have to be mine. It definitely use the one that Isa made. It's so good, but it wouldn't be bad to either use mine or your own little, hey, love this. This is how I use it kind of thing. Same with the Daily Biobasics video, the one that I had made professionally where, you know, I'm sitting out on the water. That video is incredibly effective. So you don't muddy the water up front with the lead with too much information. You keep it simple, right? So you do a message, you come back, there's maybe a little bit of exchange. Yeah, I want to check it out. Yeah, I'd like to watch the video. Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll check the information out. Then you, boom, just drop the information in. The PI sheets, I think, are fantastic. I wrestle with whether or not to send the PI sheet or just the link to the website. I think either fine. I like sending the link to the website on one hand because then people are already there, but then they might not see the product information sheet. And so, you know, you can decide what's best for you. I've done it both ways and sponsored both ways, right? Where I sent the PI sheet and the link, all right? So that's up to you, but as long as you got the video in there, just not too much information. And then at the bottom, I have Facebook group. You know, you can put people in the Facebook group and then tag them in a video. If you want to do it that way, you can, right? And that way they can ask questions and everybody in the group can respond. So that way it's acceptable as well if you want to do that. So you can say, hey, I'll add you to a Facebook group. You just have to accept it. And then I can tag you in this video and then you can check it out. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to. You know, originally the beginning of the year, I was purposing the 3C Million Lives Team Facebook group towards 3 circles but that's out the window. It's too important right now to be able to give people access to a community as good as ours. So I mean, it's open. It's going to stay open. Bottom line. So you can use the Facebook group as your marketing methodology if you want. It's up to you. And that way works. And then, matter of fact, I think Jan's got someone signing up today as that she did that with, at least if I read the thread properly. So think about it this way: 1 a day equals 3 a month. One presentation, right? And that's just based on 1 out of 10, right? So if you're getting one video out a day to someone that wants to watch it, you're going to end up sponsoring 3 people in a month. Let's see, how hard would it be to get one video out a day to someone who wants to watch it? That would probably take you all of 5 minutes. Seriously. If you want to do 2 a day, 6 a month, 3 a day, 9 a month. Those numbers won't necessarily look that way if you're doing things where you're talking to, like someone here are having to work in the cold market because of their situation. Their numbers aren't going to be that good, right? But in your warm circle, especially with the product, especially with the ketonic product, those numbers are really accurate, right? I mean, if you want to sponsor 5 or 10, same with BioBasics, by the way. You want to sponsor 5 or 10 customers a month, there it is. It's just about videos in front of people with communication. It's not about how good you are. It has nothing to do with how good you are, right? I mean, I built my whole business before I was skilled enough to tell people how to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it wasn't about me. It was about getting information in the hands of people who had need. Okay, and then customer service. Very, very simple, but really, really important. So you want to get people into the Facebook group, right? It's just such a great place. So make sure you invite them to the group. I encourage you also to do a handwritten thank you note. Everybody I ever enroll gets a handwritten thank you note. Everyone. You know, it's just such a smart thing to do. And then send them email the usage tips. So I made a document for Ketonic for usage tips, and I make sure to send that to everybody that orders the product. Got to send out a couple new ones yesterday. And then first usage phone call, so important if you can do it. Had a couple of these this week, right? So especially with Daily BioBasics, especially with Ketonic. Less important with Ketonic because you can give them the usage tips. The one thing I tell people about Ketonic is the first time you take it away from everything else, right? Take it. Don't have drank a cup of coffee and then take it. Don't take it with a whole bunch of other stuff. I want you to take it in isolation and then just notice how you feel in about 10 minutes. So important, right? Because in 10 minutes, they're going to get that little, that little groovy feel good thing, right? For some people, it's 5 minutes. Some people, it's 10 minutes. It's fast for me. And, you know, of course, I'm hyper aware, but I also put a bunch of stuff in my body all day. And so, but you'll notice that, right? You'll notice that. But then you give them tips on how to use it. Same with BioBasics. You got to give them service tips on how to use that product, because if they use it, both these products, if they use right, they're going to become part of their regimen, right? Not 100% of the time. That wouldn't be true for anything, right? It's just the way the world works. But you will dramatically increase the amount of people that stay on products because you're setting expectations, right? You're helping them see how to take it right and what the benefits are. And then I didn't mention this here, but everybody that you get into our community as a customer, you want to make sure they watch the video on the training page about the 40-minute video about the state of food. Because when people watch that video, it changes the game in their understanding. There's a little bit of this in the BioBasics video, but that's 6 minutes. This one's longer, more of a commitment, but they already have taken a step. Man, that's when people go, oh my gosh, I have to use these kinds of products, and these are the products I would use, right? So make sure you're getting that video in people's hands, because it'll make a major difference for them, right? So that's how you sequentially go through. Very, very simple.